The topic which is going to cover today is clinical evaluation and screening of congenital heart disease. This is a very important topic because sometimes in the gadgets and thorough of investigations which are at our hand, we forget to do our clinical work. And in newborns, it becomes all the more essential because maybe not immediately after birth, but maybe after 2 to 3 weeks, the congenital heart problems, they become obvious. And if they are diagnosed early, an evaluation can be go in a longer way in saving their lives. With this, I welcome Dr. Anand Jagnani to kindly start his talk.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alfred. Alfred is my very close friend as well as close batchmate. We are very much associated. Recently, we had a very good 50th Punar Milan of our batch, and at that time we got more close to each other. I am also very much thankful to Dr. Vinit Jagnani, who gave me a platform to speak on this topic, who is an organizing chairperson. Thank you so much. Just a minute, please. Computer is hanging. Before proceeding for the evaluation of the developmental cardiac anomaly in a newborn baby, we should know some very special situation. Why to know this? We should understand that developmental cardiac anomalies are next to nervous system. Lot of surgical advances has been made in the management of the cardiac anomalies, but still there are so many cases which are inoperable. Therefore, the death during infancy is of concern to the clinicians. Factors like rubella, consumption of the alcohol result in cardiac malformation. Though genetic influence is not of much importance, but the relatives of the elder children, if suffer from the cardiac anomalies, then it's a concern to the newborn baby who suffers from cardiac. There are certain cardiac malformations which are accompanied with certain syndrome like Mongolism, in which there are cushion heart defects like TOF, VSD, ASD, ergonodactyly, defects of aorta, polydactyly, VSD, Turner syndrome, coarctation of the aorta. Cardiac malformations could be broadly classified into cyanotic, acyanotic type. Cyanosis immediately after birth is not seen till PDA begins to close. That is the reason we do not see cyanosis in a patient who suffers from tetralogy of the Fallot. Diagnosis of congenital heart disease by 1 week is possible in 40 to 50% of the children, and by 1 month it is 50 to 60% of the children. The incidence of the congenital heart disease is 4 to 5 per 1,000 live births. Incidence, VSD is 35 to 30% common, which is a acyanotic congenital heart disease. ASD and PDA, again, very common, 6 to 8% again acyanotic, and the TOF, which is a cyanotic congenital heart disease, 5 to 7%. Now screening, therefore, under this situation, it is important to know whether the baby, a newborn baby, suffers from congenital heart disease or not. We have a very simple tool which we miss many times and do not go for that investigation. Once the baby is delivered, stabilized, then we go with the pulse oximetry examination. Very simple tool, pulse oximeter. We should apply this pulse oximeter in the right upper limb or either of the two lower limbs. If the baby is having oxygen saturation between 90 to 94%, that needs immediate attention by the pediatrician for the evaluation of the cardiac anomaly and going for the echocardiography. But if the saturation is less than 95%, between less than 95% in right upper hand or either of the foot, or the difference between the two is less than more than 3%, that needs attention by a pediatrician who is managing the newborn baby. If this situation, if this difference is more than 3% persists, then again pulse oximetry examination should be done by next 1 hour. If again it persists and does not improve with the oxygen therapy, then again it should be done after 1 hour. If still it persists, then the baby should be subjected for the echocardiography, which confirms congenital heart disease. Once it is confirmed that the baby is having congenital heart disease by the echocardiography, immediately the baby should be put into the cardiac ICU, and pediatric cardiac surgeon has got very important role to play. From pediatrician point of view, the treatment is very much adaptive. The treatment is just to manage the baby with the preventing the cardiac failure and preventing the tachycardia. Usually the two drugs are in very much preferred, and that is furosemide and digoxin. They are still the drug of choice in the pediatric or the newborn care. The vaccination program must be done very thoroughly in these babies because they are very much vulnerable for the chest infection to take place. They repeatedly, and their growth retardation is so marked, their immunity is so low that the vaccination can only prevent the babies from the different respiratory tract or the gastrointestinal infection. Cardiac prophylaxis should be done. Parents should be warned of any sort of fever, any sort of respiratory infection, any gastroenteritis, and awareness should be maintained. That's all. That's fine, my talk. Thank you so much. Dr. Alfred, please. Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Thank you. Okay. I finishes my talk now. Thank you.
Now the session is open for any questions. If the questions are there, Dr. Janani will answer. Any questions for Dr. Janani? I don't see anybody raising any question. Am I audible to all?
Yeah.
Even in chat box, I don't see any question which has been put to Jagnani. So let me congratulate Dr. Anand Jagnani.
Thank you
for giving this brief talk and highlighting all the points regarding clinical evaluation for the congenital heart disease in newborn. This is a very important topic because
Vineet, Aryam.
Hello, because we can prevent many neonatal deaths by doing the clinical evaluation just after birth. And it is more important doing clinical evaluation because in rural areas where most of the birth are taking place, we don't have immediate assistance from the gadgets like echocardiography and ultrasonography. So clinical evaluation becomes must, and a simple form of murmur, cyanosis, abnormal precordial pulsations, abnormal pulse oximetry. By this, a newborn can be evaluated, and if needed, he can be referred to a more advanced pediatric surgeon, pediatrician, for the further evaluation and care. We have got access these days, even in prenatal period, by doing prenatal ultrasonographic examination at 18-20 weeks for seeing whether there is any congenital abnormalities or not. Though these tools
Dr.
we
Alfred, Dr.
many a
Alfred,
times,
please.
yeah.
Dr. Alfred, I got a question from Dr. Mujib. Hi, sir. Can you say something about the auscultation? Very true. Auscultation should be done. Fantastically, in newborn babies, we can auscultate acyanotic congenital heart disease more than the cyanotic congenital heart disease. Yes, it is the VSD which is very much audible to us and we can diagnose immediately after the birth. Whereas TOF is one thing, that TOF is one cyanotic heart disease. We cannot diagnose because PDA is persisting. Till the PDA closes, TOF cannot appear. So we cannot diagnose the TOF by auscultation immediately after birth. That usually needs 1 to 2 months of the time. But VSD and ASD, these are the two conditions which are diagnosed immediately after birth by auscultation. Thank you.
Any more questions?
There is another one question from Dr. Jamia Tambawala. In what percentage of the babies require VSD closure in first year? What decides when the closure should be done? Thing is, we should, in what percentage of babies require VSD closure in first year? If the babies are doing well, if the VSD doesn't give any growth retardation, any respiratory infections, we should wait till 1 year or 2 years of the life even. And this can easily be done if the babies are well maintained on the furosemide therapy with the vaccination therapy. And it has been observed very well that these babies VSD closure takes place by 2 years of age. What is the instance of VSD closure in first 6 months? No, in first 6 months of time, usually the VSD doesn't close. Thank you, sir. Yes, Dr. Alfred, please.
Yeah, I don't see any more questions in the chat box. Oh, no, there is another question has come from Dr. Jamila. Is it mandatory for VSD babies?
Yeah.
There is another question which has come.
Unless until.
Is it mandatory for VSD babies to be on furosemide?
No, unless and until the baby is clinically diagnosed or by echo diagnosed to be in heart failure or cardiomegaly, furosemide routinely not prescribed. Thank you.
Okay. So should I go for my concluding remarks?
Yeah, sure, sir.
So all the more it becomes important for clinical evaluations by just observing immediate after birth murmurs, cyanosis, any abnormal precordial pulsations, and abnormal pulse oximetry if it can be evaluated immediately, even in rural scenario. We have got many tools, antenatal tools are there. If we do ultrasound study at the age of 18 to 20 weeks, or fetal echocardiography, especially Doppler echocardiography, then even in antenatal stage, we can diagnose whether there is any congenital heart disease fetus or not. But these are not available to a greater part of population, especially in rural areas. So to find out the structural anomaly of the heart and great vessels, the clinical evaluation is the first step. And then we go for further examination and management. So Dr. Anand Jagnani has covered it very nicely. He is my friend. We have studied together. I know him well, as he said, and we have worked together for organizing other meets, other conferences also. It was a pleasure chairing the session. So thank you very much, organizers, Dr. Vinit Jagnani especially, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you
There
so
is one
much, sir,
again
for your
question here.
blessings.
Indication for surgery in the baby less than 6 months. Yes, if the babies are having complications like raised pulmonary hypertension, if the babies are having high congestion into the lungs, these babies should be subjected for the surgeries within 6 months of the life. Doctor, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your nice presentation. Thank you, sir, for sharing the session.
Dr. Alfred, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks.